Just a few hours ago, shots were fired right around here. There was a skirmish between the local tribes, and we're now on our way to the village where at least 2 people were wounded or even killed. The tension is so high you can feel it in the air. The closer we get to the village, the louder is the sound of women weeping. You can hear it for miles, resonating off the mountains and filling in these valleys.
Matanani badu jana jube Anagali wasa Ligo Italy sa jana bete Madaringasa Matanani badu jana jube Anagali wasa Ligo Italy sa jana bete Madaringasa I'm from Junub Madaringasa Hey Anagali wasa I'm from Junub Madaringasa Anagali wasa I'm from Junub.
My dear people, today I'm going to show you how people live in one of the wildest places of Africa, and in fact the entire world. In this place, a hospital bed is an empty potato sack thrown on the ground, like for these 2 patients. This young boy is 15. He's got 2 through-and-through gunshot wounds, one in the chest, the other in the leg. They don't even have gauze or bandages to dress the wounds. They use some rugs to do it. A village school here is a big tree where a large crowd of kids gathers to learn to read, and there's only one blackboard. So all the kids are here for an English lesson.
English. You learn English, yeah? Yeah. Say good morning.
Many of these kids have never seen a mirror in their life, and by the age of 10, they don't even know very well what they look like. So when they see the pictures you take of them, it makes them absolutely tremendously excited. Check out this football. The kids made it a bunch of rugs. They stuffed them into a sock and secured it with a... Well, they didn't have a thread, so they used a plastic bag to tie it up. And now they play ball with it. How crazy is that? Most of the people in this country don't have any modern comforts, and they can wash their teeth and wash their bike in the same puddle of water, for example, and anyone can take a nap on a piece of plastic from the dumpster. All of this could have been quite innocent and harmless, but for one circumstance. All these people have lots of badass guns. Pretty much every household here owns at least one gun. In this case here, a Kalashnikov. You'll see the tribes where children learn to use guns at the age of 6 or even 5. In some areas, there is no government or administration at all, and it's complete anarchy there, and that's where we're going. This is Lyadov, and today I'm in an incredible place, the world's youngest nation, South Sudan. It has gone through so many years of war fighting for independence that the number of people with guns here will blow your minds. All people, including children, have guns here in the cities and villages alike, and even in tribes living in the wild. People here are known to wash their heads with cow urine to make their hair golden brown. Some tribes blow their cows in the butts to make them produce more milk. They may seem weird, but the fact is that they've been able to preserve their unique, authentic culture through decades of war in absence of any order through complete chaos. This is Lyadov to show you how people live in South Sudan.
Are you subscribed to our channel? Not yet? The sad thing is that Anton can't go on his next adventure until you do. So pretty please, subscribe now. That's right. Go ahead, click subscribe. Well done and thank you. We can continue now.
Dear people, I'm pretty sure that almost none of you know anything about the country called South Sudan. That's because, first of all, it appeared on the world's map as a country only some 10 years ago. And secondly, because up to now, it has had no internet coverage. So there was simply no way to spread the local news internationally. And the third reason is that hardly any of you could have visited it. South Sudan ranks first on the list of the most dangerous places to deliver humanitarian aid to, leaving behind Somalia, the Central African Republic, and Syria. No other country has claimed as many lives of employees of humanitarian aid organizations. The United States Department of State has assigned a critical alert level to the country's capital, Juba, and recommends all US citizens not to travel there due to crime, kidnapping, and armed conflict. You see, the thing is that for the past 70 years, there were only 20 years of peace in total on this land, while war has been raging here for the total of 50 years. The last armed conflict ended only recently in February 2020, but that's just the formal status quo. In fact, the government continues to be at war with at least 7 local tribes. I'm pretending to be talking on the phone as I walk because in order to take even one picture with your phone, you have to obtain a permit from the Ministry of Information. Crazy, right? There was a case when 2 foreigners were arrested for taking a picture of a local gas station. That's brutal. Safety checks start as soon as you step out of the plane. For starters, they spray you with a ton of disinfectants as a COVID-19 measure, which feels a bit like overkill considering that South Sudan is a country known to have regular outbreaks of malaria, cholera, and even black fever, and that's in the 21st century. Every bloody time you step out of a door here, be it your hotel or any other place, wherever you go in South Sudan, you have to spray yourself with this god-awful stuff. Because, there's hardly ever a breeze here. Because South Sudan has diseases not even registered anywhere else in the world. For example, there is such a thing as nodding disease. Medics and scientists haven't been able to explain its origin or nature until now. It only affects children, typically between the ages of 5 and 15. It manifests as nodding seizures and is associated with brain atrophy and damaged brain cells. They inspected every camera, every mic, and wrote down serial numbers for every single device I brought with me. So, in fact, I was very lucky. When they were going through my stuff, I quietly pushed the bag with the drone under the bench, and it just stayed there unnoticed, which is why you can now enjoy the breathtaking air views of South Sudan that I took.
nusu maana itazatu matamam niga ana zol batal عرفوه من زمان توقوا ورا وقدام من زمان أمدرمان يومنا في ناس كتير قالي بعرفوا راب يومنا في ناس كتير ما عرفوا أنا سابيتا توباك يومنا في ناس كتير أزو جلدهم في جبات نيجا بدا واسع أنا لو بدا إيدا بباسا.
All in all, Juba feels like a rural place rather than a city, mainly because there are no high-rises here at all. The tallest landmarks they have are a couple of 5-story buildings. The city has no wastewater collection system. Most households have no electricity, and most roads are like this one you see behind me, i.e. dirt roads. It feels so wild, so bizarre, even because you can be walking through a city centre and see some guy taking, well, a piss right here. For the sake of clarity, this guy is a vendor at work. He's selling stuff off a wheelbarrow that he takes through city streets. This is something many people do in South Sudan. They sell stuff like this guy here, who put a clothes rack on a wheelbarrow to sell shirts. It's easy to move the merchandise and look for places with more demand. A one-man stop shop, the South Sudan way, so to say. Here's a shoe vendor. This guy uses a long stick as a skewer to put flip-flops on it for sale. This guy is selling household stuff. He's carrying mops on one shoulder and a bunch of padlocks on the other. Check out how he's upgraded his vendor gear by adding a shoulder pad for more comfort. The vendors start working as soon as the sun rises. These women sell snacks. That's also typical for South Sudan. A woman carries a load of bananas on her head, and you can just come up, get one, and pay her for it. By the way, figuring out our money in South Sudan has not been easy. They have their own currency, the South Sudanese pound. I'll be damned. You know, I just thought, okay, I'll change my money here. Travelers are advised to bring the US dollars to South Sudan, so once I got them here, I went to a currency exchange office, gave them my dollars, and you know what they said? No. You know, this money isn't accepted here. I asked them, what do you mean? They said this dollar bill was issued in 2006, and I'm like, hell if I knew what year it was issued. And they went on, here in South Sudan, we only accept US dollar bills issued 2013 and later. The upgraded plasticky ones, you know? And I'm like, what? But I don't have any of those with me. And they said, oh, well, sorry, not sorry, bro. It means you have no money here at all. In case any of you decide to actually go to South Sudan, be advised that if you buy your way out of whatever trouble you might get into with any old dollar bills, they will find you no matter where you go and ask you to replace them with the new ones. To understand the level of corruption here, it's enough just to look around. There are some kids picking up smashed plastic bottles and straightening them up to take them to recycling to make mere pennies, which is still more than nothing. And here's a super expensive Land Cruiser with yellow license plates. Here, some women have set up improvised street hair shops where they can make $3 per day at most. And here's a Mercedes that costs tens of thousands of dollars. People here are very unpretentious. This guy squats to jot down the number he's given over the phone with his finger in the road dust. He hangs up, dials the number, and keeps walking. He was a mum who puts her kid down on a plastic bag to have a nap in the corner of a marketplace. The place is full of dirt and litter, but some of them are going out of their way to keep it clean. Check out this vendor, washing the ground in front of his shop. There's no asphalt or tiling there, just dirt road. And yet, he washes it with a mop like it's a proper floor.
Look, talking like they know me, they don't know the half. I'm like Owen Hart, mixed inside of Noah's Ark. I had battles in the dark, why you so alarmed? See the battles and the scars, had to go to class.
This is Juba's main supermarket, so to say. Basically, a huge marketplace with booths and stalls put up in the middle of dry marshland of sorts by the look of it. There is no pavement here either, and everybody carries something on their head for whatever reason. One woman is carrying a bog box on her head, the other a big ceramic jar, the third one a plastic container. She sells water. Here are some guys unloading a truck, putting cargo on their heads. There's a woman carrying a rolled up carpet. That looks heavy. Here's a lady. Check it out. She's put a bunch of socks for sale on her head. Why carry them in your hands, right? Look at this woman. Even this tiny cup goes on her head. Although I'd say it could easily fit into a purse or even a pocket. Whatever it is, containers, bags, firewood, ECT, they carry it on their heads. I get a lot of unfriendly stares because this place is strictly for the locals. Overall, it feels like you're somewhere in the middle of a hot desert and someone put up a market there. I have never seen traffic lights like this anywhere else. They install red, yellow, and green lights on big, fat, strong posts. The idea behind this is that even if tanks enter the city and accidentally hit any of them, they will bend but won't break or fall. The last time people were firing at each other on Juba streets was about 5 years ago. There's no full-scale war here at the moment, but in more distant areas where the majority of the population lives as part of tribes, shooting incidents happen almost every day because of the conflicts between the clans.
Guys, if you like my video and if you like what we're doing, I would really appreciate if you support us on Patreon, on Pioneer, or on PayPal, and we try to make even more great films from new dangerous places for you. Thank you. All the links are in the description. Please donate.
It happens every day, all the time. We've been suffering for a long time. He took the cows grazing and didn't come back yesterday. The other kids, his friends, had gone to collect some honey. Then they all went to the river to take a swim. And as they got out, they ran into an ambush.
For them, they went to go and collect the bees. You wish you should call our own.
They were completely innocent. I don't know why they keep killing mine.
I don't.
Maybe it's because I met some bad person someday. Maybe I got cursed.
Okay, the enemies were three. According to the information he said, as they came, they laid ambush when people were taking back. On the way home, they led to these people from this local.
Maybe some people put a curse on me. Why do they keep killing my kids? I lost 10 children.
10 children here. 10 children.
10 sons.
10 sons. Wow.
Up to now, with this. I'm tired.
I'm tired. I want the God to take me. What else am I waiting for here? We are now leaving for a place much wilder than Juba. Although, you know, that's pretty wild already. The truth is that here, there are places where absolutely anything can happen. Despite the fact that the country is about 10 years old, some areas have no local government, no administration of any kind, no one. All the while, the majority of the population is very well armed. There is a huge amount of weapons here left from the wartime, including machine guns and even grenade launchers. And the current government doesn't even know what to do about it.
Yeah, this ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in it.
My goal is to fly to the town of Capoeira and then drive about 250 miles through the wild with no civilization at all for a total of 7 days, and then do my best to catch a plane
So
back.
many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life.
Смотрите, какой интересный
Check out this luggage they have here. It's so cute. 2 baby sheep. Here he is. Cute little guy. He's on a flight to Juba where he'll become stew or something. They've wrapped them up. Here, you can hear them bleating now. They're in plastic bags so they don't poop around on the plane. Ah, he's so cute. And his mate here is very cute too. And they both don't know what awaits them. You can't just buy a ticket and fly from one city to another as a tourist here. I've never seen the like of the local airport anywhere else in the world. In essence, it's a huge marketplace, and every vendor here is like an airline company. You can rent a crop duster or two, or a real big-ass plane. The charter flight schedule depends on how quickly all the seats are sold. As soon as they get enough people on the plane, they go. We decided to charter a flight. Well guys, we're taking off. To be honest, I'm freaking out because we're flying a real crop duster and it scares the hell out of me. I have no idea where they got this plane in the first place. Yesterday we bumped into a Russian pilot who told us quite honestly, guys, I don't know how you're gonna fly any of these planes, none of them are certified and they observe no safety regulations here at all. Like, behind me is the emergency exit and look, they simply dumped all sorts of stuff there blocking it. They also put some woman on a flight with us. Maybe she is the mayor's wife? I have no idea. I have no idea who she is. We have chartered this flight, but they put her on the flight with us anyway. Oh well. And, by the way, they made one of our guys get off the plane to make room for this lady. They said she is some general's wife. Well, that gives you an idea of how things work around here. And then the pilot said the flight will last for 54 minutes, and that felt pretty odd for South Sudan, where punctuality is so not a thing. Yeah, look at the villages we're flying over. Do you see that each of them has a wall or a fence around it? It's because each village here is, in essence, a sovereign territory, so to say, a tribe. Some tribes have several villages located close to one another, each of them fortified against hostile tribes. All in all, South Sudan has 64 ethnic groups, and here's how this very fact is a source of high risk for anyone. In Europe, for example, different nations can coexist peacefully within the borders of one state, such as the English and the Scots, or the Serbs and the Slovaks, and the Slovenians, although there are some exceptions too, of course. In Africa, however, lots of different tribes are scattered chaotically across the land, not grouped together in any way. On top of that, many of them are hostile to each other. For example, the Dinka and the Nuer, South Sudan's two largest ethnic groups, are still at war because 30 years ago, one Nuer leader killed a Dinka commander, and the Dinka can't forgive that. Given that their paths often cross as they migrate, the hostilities never stop. The village is mourning the loss of their members. Women are weeping, wailing, in fact, and the wind carries it very far across the land between the mountains. Here are the women. They've gathered together to mourn, and they don't seem to be able to find any peace, any closure. They're sitting together to support each other in their grief. The woman who is weeping loudly is the grandmother of one of those young men who got killed yesterday. As the women of the tribe mourn the deceased, they call out two names, Lepeji and Lope. Gunfights and killing is part of the life here, but that's no comfort for the grieving mother. Her name is Lauren, and I wouldn't wish for anyone to be in her shoes. She's calling on someone in heaven to bring her children back to her on a plane. Perhaps she believes that planes can do magic. This is Sammy. He was also at the river yesterday when the shooting started, and his leg is a horrible mess because of the injury he's sustained. This is where the bullet entered. Yes, it entered here and exited there. They ambushed us on our way home. The cows walked in front and we were behind them, and they started shooting. And you had no guns. We only had one, just one gun, and they managed to take it from us. They killed one guy, then another. I ran away, and then I saw how they took our gun. It happened so fast, like lightning strikes, like a thunderbolt. It was dark, and I couldn't see much. The shooting lasted for a couple of minutes, and then it was all over. And how many of you were there? 5. 2 got killed, 2 more wounded, and 1 survived. It was very scary. I fell on the ground, then I looked up and I saw them taking our gun. The entire village is deep in shock, almost paralyzed. If we didn't happen to be driving by, I think no one here would even think of trying to take the wounded guys to a hospital. Traveling here is very risky, and the distances are vast, and there is no single family that hasn't lost loved ones to local tribal wars. This woman's husband died 2 months ago. The local custom is for her to wear these white bands for 3 months and mourn the loss.
How many children does she have?
She had 5 earlier, and then 2 passed away. Currently, she's left with 3.
So, what is she gonna do now? Like,
as I can rajil to mood there. Always beginning here can.
They finally took the wounded guys to the local hospital, but I'm not sure that even that can be of much help to them, because look at this. This is what a hospital means here. 2 people lying on the ground under a tree, and a bunch of relatives sitting around for moral support, I guess. And they're getting an IV line right here, under the tree. This is what it looks like.
вот, и вот так вот это выглядит.
It hurts very much. Over there. This young guy's name is Lodku. It's quite a common name in South Sudan. He is no more than 15 years old. When they inspect his wound, he tries very hard to stay calm. He's very weak because of all the blood loss. We were already out of the river putting our clothes on when the shooting started. And you got wounded in the leg? Yes. And the bullet from the AK gun is still there? No, they removed it. They can't even dress his wound properly here, in this place, because they simply have no gauze or bandages. They use some rugs. I mean, it looks pretty awful. The way this wound is dressed, in this place people are just lying on the ground and, well, dying. Let's be honest about it. There's no other hospital around here for dozens, even hundreds of miles. When I asked him if he's scared, he covered his face with his hands, kept silent for a while, and then said, "It's going to be all right."
How do they feel? In which condition they now?
Said only the weakness of not walking, no food since yesterday when they were carried from the bush there. Yeah.
You mean that he has nothing to eat, or he cannot eat?
She cannot eat.
But
now, if there is food, they can eat.
So he doesn't have food.
Shortage of food.
You don't have food?
Okay, let me see if I can get for him some maybe egg.
Bucky and dude, and you chuột, 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 dong bang, dong bang, dong bang, dong bang. I'm on a new level, and to go at your chuột, and to go at your chuột, and to go young go jump, and to go young go jump.
I really hate people clapping on planes upon landing, but right now, I really feel like clapping myself.
It's time to go and get it, and it's now or never. Always been the type that's go get it. I'm that nigga. Smart like a Harvard student, I'm clever. For whatever, backwards never. It's cold out.
This is our local guide, Isaac. This guy is completely crazy, in a good kind of way, and very kind, and most friendly and caring. Just imagine, there was once a time when the local authorities tried to pin down some tourists who took some pictures in the airport. Isaac came to their defense, and even got into a fist fight with the officials. Our guide, Alexei, was witness to it. Isaac got involved protecting the tourists. They weren't in very much trouble, but the officers would have confiscated their phones, so Isaac simply pushed all the tourists quickly into his van and dealt with the locals on his own. There was a fight, and they even arrested him. They beat him up real bad. He got his ribs broken. He's a really great guy. There's fire in him. I'll be damned. We've been driving through all this wild empty land with only wild nature around us stretching for miles, and then all of a sudden we find this. Look at this party! Wowza! None of these people had any idea that visitors are coming like myself and my crew, and they are just having a festival of some sort, and it's mind-blowing. Look at these guys in real leopard skins. They have ornaments in their noses. These guys have spears in their hands and big earrings. One guy has a long string of beads on his neck, another guy has a feather in his hair. How bizarre is that? It's like Rio Carnival exploded here. There's a woman dancing with a child making some signs at me or something, like maybe go away or maybe come here. I have no idea what's going on, it's wild.
The dance is purposely for dating. This is a dating season where boys and girls choose their lovers. So, and you see the girls dancing in lines, they are arranged accordingly, according to the ages from younger to the eldest. That's why you see them dancing in line. And the type of the wedding times. Yes.
Yeah. And what boys do, because when they jump and...
That is excitement. They jump like that, that's excitement. So you have to dance, show your style, you have to... Turning like this is like you're portraying how your bull is, the type of horns. Maybe they're like this, maybe they're like this.
The kinkier your sunglasses, the better. Some even put them on upside down. Those who have no festive outfits are wearing FC Barcelona t-shirts because they're colourful enough. Check out this guy, he's wearing a Louis Vuitton hood on his head. Probably got it from tourists in exchange for something. The rainy season is finally over here, and so, wow, look at that. So people can finally spend a lot of time out, hang out together, walk around. And so this period from November through February is for young boys and girls to get to know each other, because in February they will have a wedding season. So this is a courtship ritual going on here now. Just look at this guy. When I figured out how these things work around here, I realized that these are truly amazing people. Yep, they can walk around stark naked, but they do take care of their own so much better than many other people I've seen. This man here, who's in charge of the entire gathering in a leopard skin and a big crown of feathers with colorful ornaments that's strapped under his chin to stay in place, is Elias. He's around 30 years old because here no one knows their exact age or birth date. Authorities don't even register children under 3 because the mortality rate is very high in that category. Only the most educated people here know their age, and Elias is one of them. He speaks English too, and he is what you could call the mayor of the village. Just listen to what he says when he explains why they're holding this festival.
To bring other young men to be in a youth level, not young children. In order to, as you can see, we are the only people who are wearing this. Yeah. So we are also welcoming the younger ones.
What do you mean?
Youth has to be more happy, and this is part of preparation of Xmas as well. And of course, as it is meant.
Did you hear that? The youth has to be more happy. Have you ever heard anything like this from our politicians? And there's another thing. The elders of the community are sitting nearby observing the festival. They comprise a kind of management board for the tribe, but they don't get involved in everything that the people do. They simply observe and make sure, as guarantors, that the young leaders who take care of everyday life don't do any shit. So, you see, it's perfectly alright not to try and sit on the throne until you're 70 or more. Any one of the elders can stand up and speak their minds if they deem it necessary, and there will be someone to come up and pull up their pants, and the entire village will listen in awe. But overall, they just give the younger generation the freedom to lead and take it from there. Why is it clear to people who don't wear underpants and not clear to people who wear expensive suits and live in luxurious palaces?
Потому.